I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We are joined by the premier athlete of the VTubing community, Darien Chyba. Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing good. The Panthers are in the Stanley Cup final, baby.
And you could tell Darien's all about the sports, and we do appreciate him coming on. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Oh, yes. I am the premier athlete of the VTubing community. No one's bigger, better, stronger, faster than I am. I am Darien Chyba.
I appreciate that, and having been a sportscaster for many years, many years, I do appreciate having you on the show, and thanks for coming on. When did you get started with the VTubing thing?
Oh, I did do a little IRL streaming, and then I switched over to VTubing when the latest Madden dropped.
Well, yeah, I was playing Madden when it was on the Genesis.
Oh man,
that was fun. Actually, it was a lot of fun because I could hit Jeff George, the quarterback, over and over again because he was so slow, and I could blitz my speedy, strong safety every time and just run him over until he got hospitalized.
That is evil.
It is, but it was fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I played a lot of Madden over my life. But was VTubing something that you thought about doing for a while, or did you see other people doing it and decide it was the thing for you?
Yeah, I was thinking about doing VTubing for a bit after watching a couple of indie VTubers having a lot of fun with it. So I might as well join in the fun.
Mm-hmm. And you play a lot of the sports games online?
Yeah, at the beginning, I did a lot of Madden, NHL, NBA, MLB The Show.
Mm. Yeah, I played of those. I played a lot of the Madden game. I end up when I do play the Madden, I tend to mostly want to do the general manager stuff rather than actually get on the field. I think that's from being in the sports booth so long and managing from up there. I don't actually need to do the actual work involved in doing it.
Well, that's football manager for you.
That is. It certainly is. And a game I used to really enjoy was the NCAA baseball game, which they haven't put out in years. But I really enjoyed that one. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to that college football game coming out.
The newest one coming out?
Yeah, that's like early access is like the day before my birthday.
Oh, there you go. Happy birthday to you. You'll be able to get on there. In fact, so which one of these sports is your favorite to play online?
Oh man, I love really good competition. So and a really great base and a lot of selection. So I gotta say EAFC.
Mm. Yeah, and you certainly will get, if you're online with that, you're going to get a lot of people around the world involved in that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people who know a lot about that more than I do. In middle of Illinois in the United States isn't exactly soccer central, but we did have had a few decent University of Illinois women's soccer teams come through, and I did interview the woman who became the U.S. Women's soccer head coach. She's
awesome.
Yeah, she's an awesome Jill Kelly, very awesome. And that was a lot of fun. So, and I see that you've done the NHL online too. What type of? I have watched that game from afar. How easy is that to play, and how fun is that for a fan?
Yeah, it's a whole lot of fun. I mean, I think one of my clips is like hitting someone face first into glass. Yeah, that's always fun, especially when you get to break glass with your slap shots.
Oh yes, bust those out. Do you get to go are there different levels you can go into the game? Do you have to play as a certain player, or can you go career mode? Can you go team mode?
I usually go with ultimate team mode.
Mm. So what does that entail? What can you do from that level?
It's similar to like fantasy sports. You can assemble some players under your own budget
Mm-hmm.
and compete.
Mm. Yeah, that would be fun for me. I always like to do the pulling the strings. And we were doing the
Yeah,
fantasy baseball when it first came out. So I played Stratomatic baseball as a kid. So I all of that stuff I was into way back in the day. That sounds like a
yeah,
lot of fun.
yeah. It's also the only time I can get Mario Lemieux and Sidney Crosby on the same ice.
That's true. And so you get to go back to former players and pull them in.
Yeah, especially legends like Patrick Waugh, Marty Brodeur, and Brett Hall.
Mm. Now, if you can go back and get Bobby Orr and Bobby Hull, then you really got something going.
Oh yeah.
Mm. I don't even know if they'd have the rights to do those at this point, but it's all that's up in
Actually,
the
they
air.
do. They actually do. They're in the game.
Oh, cool! Now that would be something to see if you could go with Gordie Howe career mode. You'd be playing.
Oh
You'd be
man.
playing for a long time as far as that one goes. The what is the? Do you think that the FC Sport game is the best game, or is it just the one that you enjoy playing the most?
Yeah, it's the one I enjoy playing the most because there's a whole lot of competition. I mean, I can't compete in the big tournaments in Madden, MLB, or NHL since I live in Asia.
Hmm.
So FC has a lot of variety and a lot of regional tournaments.
Yeah, it would be kind of tough to do any of that. To do that, like the NCAA basketball one, I imagine would be pretty tough. NBA would be really tough, just because of the time zone you're in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that does that. I don't think that gets talked about too much. About there are players and gamers around the world, but sometimes it's very tough for you to interact with people that are on other continents whose time zone is 12 hours plus off of yours.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a insomniac state, and they'll be fresh as a daisy.
Or the other way around if you're lucky.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I play games with someone, and I don't want them to be able to access their subconscious mind. They'll end up doing better than me as far as that's concerned. Have you always been a competitive type of person?
Yeah, but I was never able to play in a competitive game.
Mm. So in going into the gaming area, you were able to do everything you wanted to do when you were younger.
Yeah, actually, when younger, I did play a lot of sports, but I never played in any games.
Mm-hmm.
Not because of skill, because I used to live in a really red district in Pennsylvania,
Mm-hmm.
and I was raised by two of the best moms in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Pride. Shout out to Pride Month.
Mm-hmm.
And there and the coaches um, a little bit religious, so they wouldn't allow kids of same-sex couples to play in games.
Well, that is unfortunate and makes absolutely little sense at all. They're boneheads. So unfortunately, you didn't get a chance
Yeah,
to do that, which is in this day and age, people should have gone well past that, as far as I'm concerned. Um, see, I got a chance to play these games and become a commentator because I was just bad at all of them. I liked playing them, I just wasn't very good at it. I got cut from every sport I tried out for except golf, which tells you how bad our golf team was. And and uh,
Yeah.
and and uh, but I enjoyed commentating on them and playing the games. This really gets some of us a chance to get out there and compete, and being able to do this online against other people really accentuates that competition, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, especially in esports. I mean, I love I love a good competition.
yeah. So it are you able to do you do anything other than sports on your games online?
Well, I am getting ready for a Fall Guys tournament coming up this Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
11 p.m. my time.
Mm-hmm. That's a different sort of
Eh,
sport.
yeah.
Yeah. That's one that used to be on ABC's Wide World of Sports back in the day, along with
Well,
barrel jumping and figure eight car racing. That's something completely different. But um the fact that you're able to do this really must mean a lot to you right now.
yeah. I mean, I love being different from everyone else. I mean, not to rag on anyone, there was so many with the same kind of theme. So I figured I picked something different, and I don't see any other sports VTubers, so I practically became the first.
That is true. I haven't talked to anybody who's really been big on the sports thing. Maybe they'll play a sports game now and again, but everybody's into the certain types of games that others do online, or they're drawn to um, other types of streams to do that. Certainly not a VTuber. Most of those are folks who go and travel to these tournaments and such. But you don't have to do that with these. As long as your lag isn't too bad and your computer's up to date, you can play even with anybody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, are you in any actual international leagues as far as the FA is concerned?
The Thai league here has its has deals with eFootball,
Mm.
but I wasn't able to um, participate since I'm not a Thai national.
Ah, so that caused a little problem. But are there actual leagues online you can join uh, where you bring your team up against somebody else and run an actual
Uh,
schedule?
Actually, as far as I know, there are absolutely none.
Mm. Yeah, well, maybe somebody needs to get on that and make something like that because I think people would watch for sure. As far as your audience is concerned, and the people who watch you while you're streaming, how does that work with you and chat? Are you able to keep your games going and interact with chat while it's happening?
Yeah, I mean, I got my focus on my computer monitor that runs the game and use remote play.
Mm.
Um, and I use my tablet to keep track of chat. So if any of the bots can stay away, then then uh, then I interact quite well. But unfortunately, um, I'm not even an affiliate yet. So
Mm. Well, I mean, now that's all that's ahead of you. It's still things to go. But, I imagine it might be pretty tough though with if you were doing an FA uh, Cup online or even basketball or hockey for that matter, because you have to be paying attention to everything that's going on in the game and keep going. That'd be pretty tough to keep checking on your chat, I'd imagine.
yeah, especially when I get one eye on the game and the other eye on chat.
Hmm. Yeah, and when you're on the FA, what position do you like to play? Do you stick with one character, or do you go back and forth between the positions?
For FC, I usually also go with Ultimate Team. I usually go Ultimate Team on all the games
Hmm.
that sports games I play.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be a little bit of everything.
yeah. So are you controlling one of the players when you're doing this?
One player doesn't have control of the ball, they get controlled by AI.
Mm.
But I take full control if they are in possession of the ball.
Ah, there you go. Okay, that makes a little more sense. It'd be awful tough with the players all over that field. Football is one thing because they're all in a formation together. American football, I mean, but international soccer
Yeah,
style
yeah.
football, they're all over the place. And if you're controlling the goalie, you may only see action 3 or 4 times the whole game. It, it might be a little tough to keep involved with it. Um, do you when you're playing that FC game? Uh, are the substitution rules the same as they are in international football?
Yeah, 5 subs per game.
So you have to be pretty judicious with that. I'd imagine it. And you've built your team
Yeah.
where they're actually specialists to come in.
Basically, I normally use the auto sub feature.
Mm. So if somebody gets injured or somebody
Yeah,
gets a card or something, you can switch them out.
yeah, yeah. Whenever they suggest I switch them out, then I'll do that.
Mm. Does it work that way for the other games as well? The other sports you play?
Yeah, I mean, switching out stars for relievers is pretty easy.
Mm. Yeah. Now,
And I gotta say, and NHL they just do it automatically between face-offs or whenever there's like while I'm waiting for a line change when holding the puck behind my own goalie.
yeah. Yeah, for folks who don't know the rules for these particular games. If you don't know them, you're going to be in trouble.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know, first of all, explaining to somebody for international football or soccer the offside rule is pretty tough to do. And same thing for hockey. Uh, Trying to explain the infield fly rule for people in baseball is tough to do. There's always something that's really tough that somebody else can take advantage of if you're not up on all the rules.
agreed.
Well, that'll happen to you whether you're actually outside playing the sport or whether you're playing it on the video console. Are there any? You mentioned the college football coming up, game coming up. Uh, which football game is this, and when is it supposed to happen?
College Football 25. That's the new one developed by EA Sports. The normal release date will be July 19th. But with EA Play, you can start playing on July 16th.
Mm. And then will it be one where you're controlling one player through the 4 or 5 years of college, or are you controlling a,
Yeah,
a university?
depends on the mode. They're having their own Ultimate Team, but I love the Dynasty mode where
Hmm.
I can take the lowest rated team and build them up to a college football powerhouse.
And that means recruiting and doing all that stuff. I wonder if they'll put
Yeah.
in. I'm wondering now if the NCAA games will be putting in the advertising dollars now that the athletes can get that, because that definitely does make a difference now in where they're going for
Uh,
schools.
yeah, actually, the athletes do have an option. They get $600 and a free copy of the game if they sign their name, image, and likeness deal with the game.
That's cool. That's something they certainly weren't able to do in the past. When I was doing the radio stuff for them, they were not able to use their likeness for anything at all, and would have gotten in huge trouble for something along those lines. Um, is there a,
Oh yeah.
is there a sport out there that you haven't been able to play online yet that you would really like to?
Um. Let's see. I keep getting banned on chess, so I think I would say either table tennis or rugby.
Rugby. Now, I love watching rugby. Um, I would, if I was a kid, I would be extremely bad at it, playing it. But I don't know about how it would work as a video game. Are there a lot of games out there with rugby?
Yeah, I think there's one on Steam called Rugby 2022, but they postponed Rugby 2023 until they can get the action right for sevens and 15s.
Yeah, yeah. That there is a big difference, and also a big difference in what type of rugby is being played too. Um, the three possession or the play until you stop, get stopped is,
Yeah,
is completely different. I'm not a big fan of the three possession one. I like no.
yeah,
I want to see something go all the way down the field.
yeah. I'm a big fan of the traditional rugby rules. Keep going until you can't no more. And
Yeah, and watching the All Blacks decimate someone is a fun way to spend an afternoon.
yeah, I'm a huge fan of the haka.
Yeah, and folks, if you don't know what a haka is, look it up and tell me you don't want to run through a wall after you hear something like that. And if that,
or have a small string running down your legs.
oh yeah, yeah, especially if they're on the other side doing it at you, like okay, I'll just you here's the ball, sir. I'm going to walk off the field now. As far as that goes, are you looking forward to any other releases coming up here soon?
Let's see. It's always the next installment of the sports games.
Hmm.
Oh,
Just just looking for the next whatever the next sports game is coming out.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Which baseball game do you usually play the show as far as baseball games are concerned?
yeah. Usually the show.
Hmm. How does that stack up for you?
It's pretty good. I really need to work on my timing and pitch location
Mm,
when I'm batting.
yeah.
A lot, yeah. Along with using the tracking meter for pitching.
Yeah, that's always going to be a thing, especially when you're still trying to project 3D onto 2D. No matter as no matter how advanced the technology, there's always going to be something you have to deal with as far as that goes, and that's a little tough to do sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, especially for something like trying to hit a round ball with a round bat and get the physics
What?
correct.
Yeah, one of the hardest things in sports.
Yeah, yeah, I know that. I played till I was 16, and then I went to slow pitch softball because I could see the ball better. And I can actually see the ball because back then when I got to 16, people the guys started throwing it a lot faster, and I couldn't see the ball anymore.
Whoa.
That was pretty tough. Uh,
Yeah.
so, how what is your schedule like as far as streaming right now?
I used to stream 5 days a week with a small sports chat on Sundays,
Hmm.
but I trimmed that down to 3 a week, and might go back to doing a small sports chat on either Saturday or Sundays.
Yep, and that is on your channels, and we're going to have the links to those coming up in the description for this interview. The We've
Yeah,
been talking with the premier athlete of the VTubing community, Darien Chyba. Darien, thank you so much for coming on the show. I do appreciate it.
I no problem. If you like to talk sports, let me know.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.